Okay. Hi, my name's Brandee Gordo. I'm from Rexburg, Idaho, and I have a salon here. It's actually a salon and barber shop. I've owned it for 6 years. We use primarily Redken color, and doing hair is what I love to do. I've worked at a salon since I was 14, and so I've always known that this is the direction that I've wanted my career and my life to go. And I found my passion with Redken through their education and their educators. And I remember being at my first hair show when I was about 15 and looking up on stage and knowing that that was the ultimate goal that I had. And I feel like when I'm at work, I get to express myself creatively and do something that's appreciated by people and make a difference in people's lives. I know hair's a small thing, but to make a woman or a man feel good about themselves for that day or that week or that next 6 weeks is what I strive to do. I hope I can express who I am through this video, and I hope that you can see the passion that I have for my career. Thank you. Okay, so today we'll be working on Natalie. She's a longtime client and a close friend of mine, and we have been slowly getting her lighter to get her to the ashy blonde gray colors. And this will be her third appointment in this lightening process. I've taken her lighter, slower as to not damage her hair. She's got quite long hair. I'm going to show you what we're working with today. Okay, so her hair was done about 5 to 6 weeks ago, and as you can see, zone 2 is still a little bit warm, and zone 3 is about where we want it. We don't want to take her platinum, but we do want those ashy undertones. Now, a little background on Natalie. She's half Hispanic, so her hair tends to pull a little warm. So we've had to be careful to cancel it out with toners and stuff. We've used purely Redken on her, so I completely trust and can predict what the hair will do once we lift it again. And I'm going to wash her first with a clarifying shampoo to start. We live in Idaho, and the water here is really hard. It has a lot of minerals in it, and so I need to wash the minerals out with the Redken clarifying to get down to the surface to where the color needs to sit and process without any barriers to break through. All right, let's go wash. I'm gonna be rinsing her with Redken hair cleansing cream. Reason being, we're gonna take those minerals out and make the canvas as clean of a canvas as we can get before applying the color. And then when we're done with that, we're gonna go with Color Sound Magnetics conditioner. It has some interlocking protein in it, which helps the color adhere to the protein that's naturally in the hair. I am rinsing her with warm because I want the cuticle to be expanded enough to accept that color in. Okay, so now we've got her all washed, ready to go. I am going to spray some One United, the 25 Benefits, into her hair to blow dry. And I want to blow dry it in pre-color because it has protein in it. Now, color also has protein in it, and protein needs protein to bond. So in order to get her color to adhere to the hair shaft in an even plane, I want to fill in those spots where the protein is lacking because we have pre-lightened her twice already. This will make a really good base for the color. And I am going to blow dry her to her part where she styles daily because we are balayaging, and I want to make sure that when I balayage, I can be more strategic about where to place the lighter pieces and the darker pieces. And where do you want to part it today?
On the left.
On the left. Okay, we've got her all dry. So what I'm going to do at this point is part her into 5 sections. This is how I choose to do balayage because I feel like I can balayage according to a more organic pattern, I want to say. I like to take at least an inch on each side of the part, more on the opposite side of where she parts. So I'm going to take about an inch here, and then I'm going to take about 2.5 inches here, and take it straight across the back of the crown area of the head. So we have a nice rectangular section. You can kind of see. Okay, and then I'm going to take her two side sections and continue this straight line from the back of her head down at a diagonal, ending right behind her ear, about there. Doing the same on the other side. And I'm actually doing 4 sections, I can't count today. So this is where that sectioning leaves us. When I'm doing a process that's going to take multiple appointments, I try to follow the same color pattern every time for consistency so that we don't get our colors muddled together, I guess. I don't want to have to lift colors that I took dark last time or color dark over the light pieces that we've been trying to get lighter. So I'll be following around the same pattern. Now last time we used a 1B Shades EQ gloss, and I like to balayage with the Blind Idol oil-based lightener because I don't feel like it's as harsh, and it's easier for me to marry the two together because they're closer to the same consistency. I have been working with it for a while, and when it first came out I instantly loved it, and I love the factor of the oil within the bleach. Whenever I tell my clients I'm going to use an oil-based bleach, they like that because oil in people's heads correlates to moisture and soft, and so we're going to go with that today. Alright, let's go mix our colors. Okay, so today for her base color, I have decided to use Chromatics. I love that it's oil-free, and I love their ashes, their ash blues, their ashes. They really turn out well. Today I'm going to be using an ounce of 1AB. I also love the consistency of it. It marries well with the Blonde Idol. And then I'm going to do about 1/8 of an ounce of the new blue, I want to say blue kicker, but it's not a blue kicker, it's a blue enhancer. And then Natalie is a little bit fairer complexion. I don't want to wash her out with too much dark, even though we will be putting the blonde in. All around the base of her face is going to be dark. So I'm going to lighten it with just a little bit of 6AA, about 1/4 of an ounce. Just to lighten it just a titch. That's the technical term. All right, and I am actually going to, we did an 1/8, we did a 1/4 one. I'm going to add another bit of the 180 in there just to make it an even 2 ounces. And the mixing ratio of this is 1:1 with the Chromatics developer. I'm going to use 10 volume because I don't need any lift, I just need to pause it. She has a strong ash base already, so I'm just going to use the 10, do 2 ounces of that. Since this is a cream, I like to pre-mix the 3 colors that I mixed in there. Okay, so that's going to be zone 1, also combing it through her ends in the places that we did last time. Like I said, we're going to be following the same type of color pattern. I love the Redken bowls because they have this little knob, I guess, in them, and you can set your brush there without making a complete disaster. Let me see, we're going to make zone 2's formula now. Now zone 2 is what we need the most lifting on this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 1.5 packets of the Blonde Idol oil lightener. And I'm going to do 1 ounce of the oil booster. And I'm going to do 40 volume. I'm going to do 2 ounces of the 40 volume developer. I'm gonna mix a little for zone 3. Her ends went pretty well. This is her second. The first time that we did it, she had a balayage ombre. So 100% of her ends, her zone 3, was a nice lighter caramel blonde. So I want to be a little bit more gentler on those because these will be the 3rd time that we're going to be lifting the most fragile part of the hair. So I'm just going to use 1 packet of the Blonde Idol bleach. We're going to do 1 ounce of the oil booster. And we're going to do 20 volume. 1 ounce of the 20 volume peroxide developer. Actually, I lied. We're going to do 2 ounces of the developer. Sorry. Okay, let's go start to apply the color. Okay, so everybody, I feel like when a new trend comes out, everybody rushes to the internet or to anything to figure out how to do this. Pinterest is a huge inspiration. I use Pinterest a lot in the salon to do consultations, to make sure the communication is where it needs to be when my client's in my chair. Now, when balayage first came out, I loved the look of it. I loved that it wasn't quite as harsh as ombres are, a little bit more natural, easier to grow out, that type of thing. And so I got on Instagram, I watched the little Sam Villa snippets, I've watched YouTube, we watched everything. I've been to multiple education things, and what I kind of did was take a piece of this that I liked and a piece of this that I liked, and I put it together into my technique that I'm doing now. I prefer to use cotton over saran wrap. I can't even wrap a dish with saran wrap, so I'm not even going to attempt to use it on my head. And foil, I'll use every once in a while to separate my top sections, but I really prefer to use cotton just to separate. The other nice thing is that as it's processing, I can see exactly what it's doing because it's exposed. So that is also why I tend to use a little bit stronger of a developer in my Blonde Idol bleach. This is my chromatics formula. I'm going to start at the base. Now, I do keep a wipe cloth in my drawer because I don't want to muddy the products together when I'm taking down the next section. I wanted to see dimension with her hair. So my sectioning, you'll notice, is quite a bit bigger than it would be if I was going for a more natural looking balayage. We are going for more of a dramatic, edgy look for her. And the other nice thing is where we have had to do multiple processes is if you do it thicker like this, you can pick out exactly what colors you need. Whenever I'm doing hair, I always have a plan of attack for the next 2 or 3 appointments, so we know exactly what direction we're going, and the client is in agreement, and so we know her next appointment, she's had time to think about it and know exactly what she wants to do next. It also gets people back in my chair, because if you have a plan for next time, they're already planning on coming back before they leave your chair. I'm really working it into the hair. It is a cream color, so I need to work it in and make sure it's completely saturating. Pull down this long section, and what I'm going to do is color about the top 3 inches or so of her roots. So we want all of her roots. We're going to be doing 100% of her roots this dark color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it where the color stops. I'm going to do my zone 2 formula. And the nice thing about her hair is we can see exactly where zone 2 and zone 3 meet. So we will marry those bleaches together a little bit. And I am saturating the hair on this. Sometimes with balayage you do your sections a little bit thicker and you don't push the product all the way through your section. I do want my product all the way through this section. And this is the zone 3 formula with the 20 volume. Now, this is where the cotton comes in. I'm going to be pulling all of her dark to the side. And I'm going to be sticking the cotton to the base to keep those colors separate. We're going to pull down the next section, and these sections are about a 1/2 inch section, so they are pretty thick. And once again, you can see exactly where the dark needs to go and the light needs to go. Now, where I am taking thicker sections, I'm having to apply the color at every angle I can, coming from the top, the bottom, the side. And I am marrying the product about 2 inches together. And I'm going to pull the next dark piece to the side with my other ones. Okay, so when we come to the top section of the hair, I'm actually going to pull down her sides first, and then I'll start with the top. The sides I'm going to pull forward. Coming at a diagonal. Balayage was hard for me, and still is at some points, because you're putting vertical lines into a horizontal plane. So here's my horizontal plane. To get vertical lines in there without making any horizontal lines is intimidating. And that's where I think a lot of mistakes I've seen with balayages is not figuring out a way to do it natural and smooth. So if I create a more diagonal plane, then that helps, and when she pulls her hair back, it's going to look a lot softer. She is a ballerina, so keep in mind her hair is pulled back a lot. That's also why I'm doing her balayage farther up, is because when she pulls her hair back, I don't want dark, 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 and a random gray bun. So that's why we're really meshing them up higher. Now, I like to fold a piece of cotton over the ear because this will be laying down on the ear. So when we get to this part, I'm going to be pulling all of her dark pieces back rather than to the side. And that way they don't bump into each other. I'm kind of a control freak, so when balayage came out and we were laying color on top of other colors, it gets me out of my little box, which I think that's why I like what I do so much, is that you're constantly evolving out of this little box in your head of what's okay and what's not okay. Hair and trends are constantly breaking the rules, and I love it. If you would have told me 10 years ago that we would be doing highlighting and balayaging without any foils and without these perfectly uniform sections, I wouldn't have believed you. And look at what it is today. I love it. As you can see, with the cotton, all of this is exposed, so you can see how it's lifting and where you married it to make sure that it's a visual, no line area when you're blending. Okay, so when I start at the top, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull all of this back over on top of itself, being aware of my sectioning, how much I'm grabbing on this side and how much I'm grabbing on this side. And that way when it falls to the side, it lays a lot more natural. And keeping in mind that a lot of these balayages, the blonde comes up closer to the face. So that's what we'll be doing with her today. Okay, we're gonna process that for 35 minutes. We're gonna take all the cotton out before we rinse. And I'm gonna rinse her with cooler water again, just because we have some porous ends and there's quite a bit of blue presence in there from the ash. I'm okay, I do want it to I'm using the blue and the ash and the darker to tone together. So I'm okay with the blue running into the blonde a little bit. So I'm not trying to keep the colors separate when I'm rinsing or anything. Okay, so to shampoo, I'm going to use Color Extend Magnetics, and then I will also condition with that. I'm going to blow dry her to about 80% blow dry, and then we're going to apply a toner and let that process for about 15 minutes or so. I'm gonna let it process and watch it close and then decide once it's on when I wanna rinse it. Okay, let's go back to the blow dry. We're gonna blow dry her using the 25 Benefits again. Fill in some of those porous places because we do need some protein for the toner to bond with. That's the word I was looking for. Now you are gonna notice up higher on her scalp, where this is only the second time, it is gonna have a little bit of warmth to it. So once we mix that, once we mix the toner, we'll plan for that. So as you guys can see, there's still a little bit of warmth to it, and we wanna get more of a silvery color, an ashy color. It is a little bit ash at the ends from the porous, from pre-lightning and the blue undertone at the top rinsing out to the bottom. And so we're gonna go back and mix a toner and let her sit with the toner on for about 15 minutes or so, okay? Okay, so for toning, we're gonna do Shades EQ Gloss. I like the shine it gets, I like the consistency, it really gets down into the shaft of the hair. And I'm going to do 1 ounce 9V. I'm going to be applying this with a tint bottle. And 1 ounce 9T. And we're going to do about 2 drops of 1B. Okay, it's about 2 drops. We're going to go a tiny bit more. We're going to take the Shades EQ Gloss Processing Solution. And it's 1 to 1. I'm gonna end up with about 4 ounces of color. Perfect. All right, let's go apply. Okay, I've got her sectioned off into 3 sections. We're gonna start in the back, start at the bottom, and then I also have a wider toothed comb And I'm going to be brushing the color through for even saturation. I don't want this process to take too long because I want even processing all over. So I'm going to do this quickly. Okay, perfect. We will let it process for about 15 minutes and then we'll be ready to rinse. Okay, so I just rinsed her, shampooed and conditioned with Blonde Idol. So now I'm going to use the 25 Benefits again. It's good for sealing the color, it's good for detangling, heat protection, pretty much anything. And then I'm also going to use the Pillow Proof Blow Dry Express Primer. This is a treatment also, and I love it because it helps. She has some natural curl, and it helps with the frizz as you blow dry. It also helps with your blow dry time. All right, let's blow dry her. And when she's about 60% of the way dry, I'm going to go ahead and do the Pillow Proof Blow Dry Spray. Okay, now for the styling, I am going to, her hair is about 85% of the way dry. I am going to go through and spray some Guts 10 at her root. I prefer to do it when it's not soaking wet because I feel like it dilutes the product a little bit more. And I'm just going to go in sectioning where I want volume and blow dry that in and up. Okay, so we'll style it, but there's still a little bit of warmth up through zone 2, which was kind of expected. This is a nice ash color, right on the verge of being gray, but it's pale blonde. For her, if she wanted to go more gray, I would recommend one more time of coming in. When she first came to me and wanted to do gray, we talked and we said this is going to be anywhere from a 3 to 6 process color. And I always tell my clients that I won't do anything to that's going to compromise the integrity of their hair, especially in one sitting. So I'm happy with how that turned out. It's nice ash, and even though it's a little bit warmer at the root, the toner really blended. You can see the pattern of the balayage comes up higher, just like we wanted it to, and you still have the dimension of the dark through it. So let's curl it and we can really see the movement of the color. Okay, I'm also going to put some diamond oil in. You really don't need a lot, but it's for shine, protection, get rid of the flyaways. And she's going to be in zone 1 and 3 of the hair. And I'm going to be curling her with a flat iron today and doing some beach wavy curls. When you curl hair with a flat iron, you want to rev it like a motorcycle. And what I'm doing is I'm curling this half away from her face and the other half the opposite way, away from her face. Now I feel like if you're sending your clients home with a haircut or a style that they can't do themselves, you're not educating them enough about their hair. Education is just as important for your clients as it is for you and your stylists. And then they'll usually come back and say, you know, I can't style my hair the way that you do. Well, I have a plethora of products, and so that's where you need to educate your clients on the products you're using. You can't cook something in the kitchen without all the ingredients. It's the same thing with the hair. You can't style it to its full potential without all the right products. Natalie likes her hair super casual, effortless. Now I'm taking this all up and away from the scalp because that's where I want it to sit. Whatever direction you're pulling the hair, pushing the hair, when it's drying, when it has heat on it, is where it's going to lay. So if you're curling your hair and you're pulling it straight down, you are going to not have any body up at the root. And then as it's coming out, you're gonna help it fold over. You're gonna help it cool where it needs to lay. One more going back. Okay, so over the finished curls before the hairspray, I love to use the Fashion Wave 7. It's the texturizing sea salt. It really gives that beachy look. It softens the curl just a little bit. You don't want to spray too much because it is a wetter product. And you're not going to comb it through, you're just going to let it sit. Okay, I'm going to come through with the Triple Take 32 hairspray. This is my go-to hairspray. I love it. My clients love it. I love the nozzle. It's got a triple threat nozzle. The only thing is you don't want to hold it here because it is so strong. It's meant to be held away from the head and just kind of lightly misted. Okay, there's our color.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
I think she's happy. Perfect. Thanks.